Welcome to my latest video on 40k. I was planning to do an unboxing this week of something I'd ordered from the magical interwebs. However, it hasn't arrived, so I'm going to save that one till next week. What I am going to do this week is a quick review of what's happened in 40k this week. I'm hoping to do this more regularly. Hopefully 40k will keep putting out cool things so I can. I think the first thing I'm going to look at is something I was made aware of today by my Facebook and my my email account, which is 40k. GW has sent out a post and it's available on the Warhammer community page, called a quick heads up, which is advising us of another price raise. I say another, GW price raise about once a year at this point. That makes a lot more sense. Some of you may be old enough to remember when GW didn't price raise once a year. They used to price raise once every like 8 years, or something ridiculous like that. They had a significant chunk of time where they hadn't done any price raises. They'd done their level best to keep prices down, which was great, until they had to do a price raise, and their price raise was quite hefty. It left a lot of people just going, ugh, and a lot of people's wallets hurting. So GW have learned from that, and now, despite the fact they always try to keep prices to at least what they claim as a minimum, they do regular price hikes rather than hitting us with everything at once, which I suppose is better. They're talking about an increase for the price of the start collecting sets. For those of you not familiar with the start collecting sets, they're about £50 at the moment. They haven't said what they're going to be increasing to, but they are a significant discount on getting the stuff separately. I think the Tau one is something like 40% off. Others range from 20 to 40%. They're stating that you're still going to get between 20 and 40% off. So I'm guessing some of them must be over 40% off, if the price hike is still leaving you with 20 to 40%. There's a link on the page, but it just links to the generic. I'll just actually show you. You can see, you can see here's the page, and there's a link on the page, and if I click that, it just goes to God blimey. It just goes to the start collecting box sets generally, without giving you a specific one. So what they're saying, some of the box sets may increase in price. We don't know specifically which ones. And oops, sorry, I just needed to knock the phone. We don't know specifically which ones are going to increase in price just yet, but they're giving us a forewarning, and that's nice. If you want to get the start collecting box sets, get them now before the prices go up, I think. They're also saying paint pots will have a small increase of 20 pence per pot. Your standard paint pot will be going up from 2.55 to 2.60, 2.75, and your larger paint pots, like your washes, will be going up from 4.55 to 4.75. Obviously, that's a significant increase. Well, that's a more significant increase for your smaller pots. Well, percentage-wise, little less percentage-wise of an increase for your larger pots. But at the same time, not massively that much. GW paints tend to be among the thicker paints anyway, so they water down quite a lot. You may notice that among a lot of the paints, GW's pots are slightly smaller, but they, in my experience, tend to be slightly thicker. So if you water down your paints as they instruct you to, they go pretty much just as far. They haven't gone specifically into what's causing this, but I would imagine it's just going to be the standard stuff. Getting paints in, the cost of pigments, whatever they're, confidence in the pound, random things like that, have all just added up to lead to a required price increase. So if you're planning any projects, get on them now. If you're doing an army, get those paints now. If you're doing a start collecting box, get that start collecting box now before the price hike occurs. GW have given you a heads up before it happens, which is great of them to do. So, get down your local GW, get buying before the price hike. You know, if you got any money for Christmas from your nan, from your aunt, from your mum and dad, from anyone, spend it now rather than waiting to decide. I know a lot of you are thinking, what am I going to do now? You know, and a lot of you, like me, like to take your time and pre-plan just so you don't end up buying stuff you don't need. That's all great and good, but if you're going to make a big expenditure like a Star Collecting box, or you know you're going to be using a paint scheme with a lot of colours for an entire army, that 20p is going to add up on every paint, so get down there now. Another cool thing that that's come out is Forgworlds. I don't play Necromunda currently. It's on my to-get list. I'm a big fan of the old game, but available from Forgworlds. Be quiet. For Necromunda, they brought out a lot of awesome looking heads and a lot of awesome looking extras. Oh, I'll stop at Blood Bowl, although I will be going on to Blood Bowl in a minute. Which are going to be great ways to upgrade or, well, not even upgrade, to update or to customize your gangs. They've got it for every gang at the moment. You know, you've got your Goliaths, your Van Saar, your Cawdor, that's Orlocks. Yep, which are all the gangs I believe that are currently out. So that looks really good. It's going to continue to keep the game fresh and continue to keep you guys looking like unique gangs as opposed to carbon copies, which is one of the cool things about Necromunda. Blood Bowl as well. Carlavon. Got much awaited Carlavon Kill. Any Halfling players or Amazon players have been looking forward to her coming out. There's a lot of good and cool home cooked up ones, but she's awesome. You've got Helmet Von Wolf, who's basically, sorry, I'll get that so the colour changes. He's basically a fat old dude with a chainsaw. And who doesn't like a fat old dude with a chainsaw, right? But still an awesome little model, and it's gonna really make things look cool. They're teasing again with the Gene Sealer stuff. Apparently tomorrow there's going to be a fantastic new clip telling you what's cool and what's awesome there. And another thing which I found really interesting and I'm enjoying a lot of, and I haven't had a chance to go down and grab a White Dwarf yet because I've been busy so far working. Sadly, that's what happens when you've got a family, you have to work. But coming out in the White Dwarf, you've got a, oh, sorry, let's get that again. You've got a Codex supplement for the Crimson Fists. The Crimson Fists, in case you don't know, are a fantastic, I don't want to say chapter because they're not really quite a chapter. I don't know really what's happened to their numbers with the Primaris, whether they've been brought up to full strength or not. But prior to the advent of the Primaris and the return of Guilliman, they were supposedly about 200 strong after having their home world, Rinnsworld, devastated by orcs. They were rebuilding, but that was where the narrative had left them. There's a lot of cool stuff here, a lot of awesome stuff. As several people have pointed out, a lot of it really makes them very good against higher number opponents. You've got some awesome warlord traits. Tenacious opponent, your warlord will fight harder and refuse when outnumbered. And then refuse to die. First time your warlord is reduced to 0 rings, roll a d6 or 4+, set him up again at the end of the phase as close as possible to his previous position, but more than 1 inch, blah blah, from the enemy models with d3 wounds remaining. So again, something there to really just keep them hanging in, and that's what the Crimson Fists are really renowned for, is being tenacious and never giving up. They are a successor chapter to the Imperial Fists, as you might have guessed from their name. And if any of you haven't read Rinnsworld, they're very much based on the Roman Catholic kind of practices that you used to find in Spain. They've even got this magical ball with not with Sanguinius, with Rogel Dawn's blood in it, that every year they hold it aloft and the blood turns from being this dry, sticky dust and powder into liquid again. There is rumours that between the bones held by the Imperial Fists, the blood held by the Crimson Fist, and some people allege the Soul Spear held by the Soul Drinkers, they've got all the necessary parts to rebuild their own Primarch. The idea being, you've got the blood, the bones, and the soul. You can recreate Robot. You could somehow rebuild or recreate Rogel Dawn. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen, but it's an awesome theory. They've got the Defenders of Humanity within range of an objective marker. Even if they're outnumbered, still counts as claiming the objective. No matter the odds, Crimson Fists add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by this unit. Oh, yeah, where are we? By this unit if they are outnumbered again. And yeah, those are your abilities, and you'd oh sorry, the way it's split on really badly. And then you've got the Stoic Defender. Within 6 of the order, Crimson Fist already has the ability. Then each model counts as up. The unit counts as Defenders of Humanity. If they already have this, each model counts as 2 models supposed to determine who controls an objective marker. So the Stoic Defender gives them the Defenders of Humanity ability as well as that. So all this combined really makes them an anti-horde army, which, being as the Crimson Fists made their name fighting against the Orc Warg that invaded and devastated their homeworld, absolutely makes sense for the Crimson Fists. As I say, they're really, really good. They're really cool. And if you're looking for something with a Spanish feel, whether you just like the Spanish stuff or you're Spanish yourself and are looking for an army that, you can, I don't know, I guess identify with, or, basically looking at mine a bit, then the Crimson Fists are really the army for you as well. With their Chapter Master, Pedro Cantor, who, I don't care who you are, that's the coolest name for a Chapter Master. But yeah, basically looks really, really cool. Yeah. And that's pretty much all the cool stuff that's really happened in 40k this week, and a little bit there in Blood Bowl. Frankly, there's a lot to look forward to. It looks like GW is starting the new year with a bang. I'm going to be back next week. I'm going to do another review of this, and hopefully I'll have an unboxing for you as well when my belated Christmas present arrives. Hope you guys enjoy this. Thanks very much. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Not sure why, but I am. So if you like it, see me there, and please tell your friends. Thanks very much. Bye.